we would be remiss if we were unpacking the topic of burnout and not touching on mental health. First of all, there's been a stigma around this topic, almost a no trespassing zone, a no talking zone, especially in the church, especially amongst ministry leaders, people of faith. I have Clinton Fopple back with me from Remedy Live. Clinton, why the stigma around mental health?
Well, we've had a formula for centuries in the church. If you struggle with your mental health, then you're not godly enough.
Yeah.
You're not faithful enough. You don't know the Lord personally. And it's just, it's a lie.
Yeah.
The brain is a biological organ. It can get sick like any part of our body. We don't judge someone for having a cold. We don't judge someone for having heart disease. We try to help them. And so with leaders, there's a stigma around mental health because if I admit that I'm struggling with depression or anxiety or something that I can't maybe even verbalize, but it's happening within that supercomputer in my skull, then I'll keep it to myself because I'm not sure I know how my congregation, my elders board, the people that are kind of in my sphere of influence are going to receive me. So I think that's why the stigma is so high. The heartbreaking thing is someone who's been working with this field within a faith-based context now for nearly a decade. I have seen the opposite occur.
Wow.
That Kent, when you share with me that you have something that you're struggling with within that mental health realm, I'm compelled now to say, you know what? Me too.
Wow.
And the transparency that is issued by leaders like yourself and hopefully leaders that are watching this, when you can get vulnerable within an appropriate boundary to say, you know, I have dealt with anxiety lately. I've been dealing with panic attacks lately. And I'm actually saying that so it can be part of my next steps to healing. That gives our congregants, that gives our leadership the courage they need now to say, you know what? Me too. And I believe that mental health is our new mission field. And I think church leaders need to understand self-care and mental health needs to be paramount in the way that we look at the way that we lead.
Can we identify some causes for the increase in mental health? There's been a significant spike. Why is that?
Well, I've got some theories. I think that our smartphones are making a dangerous play on the brain that we have, not only the way that the apps are developed and created, but the way that the notifications of the device, which are constant, play with all the different neurochemicals in our brain. You know, we've heard a lot about dopamine in recent years, and norepinephrine is become a more popular neurochemical to discuss because it's constantly playing with the levels of this biological thing inside of our skull. But I also think it's the fact that we've become just a real hurtful society.
Wow.
Social media, people are brave behind a keyboard, you know, not as brave face to face, but they are willing to throw stones. And let's be honest, our pastors, they're targets and they can be hurt. And I think when you are hurt privately through a text or a social media dialogue, you internalize that trauma to the brain. And then you don't talk about it, and it just adds up and it adds up. And then what I know about mental health is this is about me trying to figure out who I am in the midst of this one only life I've been given.
Yeah.
And if I'm being attacked through all kinds of different methods, my mental health is going to diminish.
Wow.
If I don't share what's going on within my skull.
Yeah, Clinton, you're such a wealth of knowledge. I feel like I need to squeeze every part of this out of you. So one last question. Burnout, mental health.
Yeah.
Burnout leads to mental health issues. Yeah. Mental health issues feed on the burnout. Yeah, Talk to us about the two of these hand in hand.
Well, you know, it's I don't want to make it sound like an easy formula, but I just believe much like a tank that's welling up with pressure, we just need to release the valve through confession.
Wow.
I believe that confession is God's idea for us. Now, let's be clear. We all know this, right? God doesn't need us to confess for him. God wants us to confess for us. It allows us to enter a community of care,
yes,
to enter the best days ahead, to enter that redemptive process that we know does such incredible things to people that we know and love. And so if we don't share what's going on, I always tell people, I can't read your mind. Speak it. One word if you need to. Give me something. Because it begins the process, as we see in the book of James, when someone confesses, the power of God begins to enter and say, that's good. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I just joke a little bit here. I've been in therapy most of my life. I'm very proud to say that because I call them life coaches. But But the beauty is when someone as a therapeutic support in my life asks me one question, I ramble for 45 minutes and I feel great after that. God has given us a voice to use to help heal our heart and heal our mind.